I'm DaHero, and today we're diving into another episode of Budget Magic, where we prove you can have fun in Commander without breaking the bank. For all of you EtherHub followers, I see you. We've got a new deck tech featuring Niko, Light of Hope from Duskmourn, House of Horrors. This deck is built around blinking, flickering your creatures in and out of play to squeeze out as much value as possible. And the best part? This whole deck is under $50. I'm all about that affordable magic life, so let's jump in and see how we can make Niko shine. Also, the full deck list is down in the description, so you can follow along or even build it for yourself if you're feeling inspired. Let's get started.
This video is powered by Dubby. Dubby Energy is the maker of a clean gamer energy drink to help enhance focus, concentration, and reaction time with no jitters, crash, or bad ingredients. Head over to dubby.gg and use the code DaHero to get that 10% discount.
Alright, let's talk about our commander, Niko, Light of Hope. For 4 mana, 2 WU, we get a 3/4 legendary human wizard, and Niko does 2 really cool things. First, when Niko enters, you make 2 shard tokens. These tokens can be sacrificed for 2 mana to scry 1 and draw a card. So, you're getting some built-in card advantage just from casting your commander. Nice! But the real spice is the second ability. For 2 mana, you can exile any non-legendary creature you control and bring it back at the beginning of the next end step. What this means is, you protect your creatures from removal, you reset powerful ETB, enter the battlefield effects, and it keeps your value engine rolling. This deck is all about getting maximum value from creatures with powerful ETB effects and reusing them over and over by blinking them. Let's dig into the core strategy. We're in Azorius colors, which means we need to make sure we've got good ramp to keep up with other players at the table. Here's how we do it on a budget. Arcane Signet, staple mana rock, speeds up the deck. Azorius Signet, another rock for fixing and ramp. Azorius Chancery, a bounce land that gives you more mana later on. Decent for budget builds. Path of Ancestry, helps fix your mana and provides scry when casting wizards, since we have a lot of wizards. Irrigated Farmland, a dual land that can be cycled away if needed. Command Tower, budget essential for 2-color decks. With these, you'll have smooth ramp to cast your blink creatures and commander early, ensuring your deck is never too slow. Creatures with Enter the Battlefield effects, ETBs, are at the core of this deck. You want creatures that provide immediate value and can be flickered over and over for repeat effects. Let's look at a few blinkable creatures that showcase the deck's value engine. Muldrifter draws 2 cards every time it enters the battlefield. Play it for its evoke cost and blink it in response to keep it around. Cloudblazer draws 2 cards and gains 2 life. The life gain is relevant in long games. Angel of the Ruins removes up to 2 artifacts or enchantments each time it enters, which can be backbreaking for opponents. Ether Channeler, versatile ETB, draws a card, bounces a permanent, or creates a token. Each blink gives you flexibility. Ethereal Investigator makes clue tokens for each opponent you have, giving you even more card draw. Every blink creates more tokens. Menaldor, Swift Savior, blink a creature each time it attacks, giving free blink effects with no extra mana investment. These creatures are crucial for keeping the blink engine going and generating massive value every time they re-enter the battlefield. Now we're talking about the spells that let us reset our creatures and abuse their ETB effects. Here are some classic blink spells and a few that offer extra utility. Blink spells are the engine of the deck, even though Niko does a good job on its own. Momentary Blink, one of the best blink spells because it has flashback for extra value. Flicker of Fate blinks not just creatures but also enchantments like your shards or copy enchantment. Teferi's Time Twist blinks a creature and brings it back with a 1/1/+1 counter. Great for growing your creatures. Justiciar's Portal, instant speed blink that also gives the creature first strike. Planar Incision, another instant speed blink that brings a creature back with a +1 to +1 counter. Touch the Spirit Realm, flexible. You can blink your creatures or use it as removal for an opponent's artifact or creature. These spells keep our strategy going, allowing us to dodge removal, protect key pieces, and keep the card draw and value rolling. These are the cards that enhance the blinking strategy by creating synergies or combos that make the deck more than just the sum of its parts. Soul Herder, the All-Star. Every time you blink a creature, Soul Herder gets bigger, and it blinks something for free at the end of each of your turns. Far Traveler. This background lets you blink a creature every end step, providing repeatable flicker, as long as you have Niko in play. 3 Blind Mice. This saga chapter 2 and 3 is awesome as it creates a token that's a copy of target token you control. You can target the shards or using Niko ability at upkeep to turn your shards into copies, then using the saga triggered ability to copy. Estrid's Invocation can copy one of your enchantments, including your shard tokens or something like Seal from Existence to get extra value. Copy enchantment, just like Estrid's Invocation, but it stays as a copy. Extra copies of your enchantments, like Soul Herder or shards, can fuel your card draw engine. Ethereal Valkyrie makes creatures bigger each time you draw cards, turning your card advantage into battlefield dominance. These synergy pieces help keep the blink engine running and give you extra value by doubling up on your ETBs, enchantments, or tokens. In any commander deck, you need removal and ways to stop your opponents from getting too far ahead. Let's expand this section to include a few more control elements that are essential for the deck. Nevinyrral's Disc, an affordable board wipe that takes out everything except for your creatures if you blink them away first. Fateful Absence, cheap and efficient removal for creatures and planeswalkers. Valorous Stance, can protect your creatures or remove a big threat. Very flexible. Seal of Cleansing, lets you deal with problematic artifacts or enchantments. Blinkable with some of our enchantment flicker spells. Seal from Existence, an excellent exile enchantment that can be flickered to exile more threats. Saw It Coming, foretell counterspell that gives you an easy way to hold up counter magic on a budget. With these control spells, you can handle problematic creatures, artifacts, or enchantments and keep opponents' game plans in check. In a blink deck, your goal is to grind out value over time, but you still need solid win conditions. These are the creatures and cards that will ultimately help you close the game by dealing damage or overwhelming your opponents. Aerial Extortionist, a 5/5 flyer that disrupts your opponents by exiling non-land permanents and can easily chip away at life totals over time. Plus, it has a built-in way to control the board while dealing serious damage. All-Seeing Arbiter, a big, evasive threat. Not only does it help draw cards, but it shrinks opponents' creatures, making it harder for them to block or pressure you. This creature is a solid way to push through for damage while controlling the board. Angel of the Ruins. This creature is massive, 5/7, and comes with flying, making it difficult to deal with in the late game. Plus, its ability to exile 2 artifacts or enchantments each time it's blinked means you're removing threats while building an evasive army that can eventually overwhelm opponents. Soul Herder starts small but grows huge quickly in this deck. Every blink effect pumps it up, and it can become a massive win condition over time. Left unchecked, it can deal significant damage, especially in a long game where you're blinking creatures constantly. Combat Thresher. This creature has double strike, which means it can deal a ton of damage, especially with even small buffs. When blinked, you can repeatedly draw cards thanks to its ETB trigger, making it both a source of card advantage. Ethereal Investigator, while not a direct finisher, the sheer number of clue tokens this creates when it enters, depending on how many opponents you have, can fuel a long-term card advantage engine. If you blink this multiple times, you'll be drawing so many cards that you'll likely find win conditions and close out the game through sheer resource advantage. The primary win conditions of this deck revolve around big, evasive creatures that either control the board while dealing damage or grow large over time, like Soul Herder. The strategy is to outvalue your opponents through repeated ETBs, then close out the game with hard-to-block creatures and sheer card advantage. And that's it, folks. This is the Niko Light of Hope Blink deck, a budget-friendly commander deck that keeps the value train rolling all game long. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars to have fun in Commander. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you'd like to see next. The full deck list is down below, and make sure to follow me on EtherHub for more budget deck techs like this. Thanks for watching, and remember, magic is for everyone, no matter your budget. Catch you in the next one.